Hey, what's going on, family? We're back in the building. What's going on? Yes, OhnahjiU Saturday. We're back again. You know how it is. March 21st, baby, 10 a.m. Well, 10:07, 10 a.m. PST. What's going on, family? How we feeling? We're doing amazing. Hey, title, Undivided Winning. We'll get into it. This week has been a golden week. Try something different. Try something different for the ladies for March. And it was successful. And I'm excited about that. I'm gonna get Boss's thoughts on that in a minute, but yeah, we here. Day 216. Crazy. I'm Brian, Ohnahji B, founder behind Ohnahji and Ohnahji University. Been rocking this since 2022, y'all. And it's been a really good time. We're having amazing conversations, learning and growing in emerging tech for the home team, Black Brand and Allied folks. And it's been amazing, y'all. So got the goated co-host in the building, Dina Combs, Boss 2.0. So good to see you, family. With the dance season, you killed it. Shout out to you, but it's okay if you're away like that because you winning out there, winning trophies, winning championships, and all kind of things. I love to hear it. Boss, what's going on, family? So good to see you. What's the word?
All is good today. All is good today. Had a good week. Like it's been spring break week. So headed back on Monday. We getting the weekend scary. It's like, oh God. But no, it's been a good week. I've been enjoying kind of being back in the game for a minute, like back in production bag, getting some stuff going, taking notes, playing some catch up on what's going on. I feel like it's been a real good week, like going on as far as like what we've been seeing in these streets, and especially what's been going on the back end. You're talking about Undivided. That was been super, super great this week. So I'm excited to get into some of that. But it's been a good week. Always here. Good to be back here on a Saturday, especially after that long break. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
So I'm talking about. No, shout out to you, boss. Shout out to the co-host, giving the intro and everything, so I can send a couple little noties out. So you have been in this production bag. It's been so cool, seeing you pop in on the back end and helping pull some things on screen. Yeah, we getting this thing. Hey, watch out for the Ohnahji squad. We well into this live stream era. Cams on, sharing screen, all kind of different things. So yeah, it's been a good time. Where if you guys have any feedback or anything that you especially love from the Ohnahji channel, or topics or structure or anything like that, we're definitely open to the constructive criticism, the feedback, suggestions, all that good stuff. So definitely let us know. Ohnahji everywhere, OHNHJI. You can hit boss on all the platforms as well too, or come to the Discord and come say hi and show some love in the Discord. My guy Von Moore in the building. What's going on, family? How you doing? It's good to see you. WZ with the first W first, man, with the lurk. I appreciate you. Even on this busy weekend, man. Hey, Z has been cooking. We'll talk about it. The builders have been building, and I love to see it. So yeah, boss, this week, Undivided Attention, we had 3 of them scheduled, 3 of the ladies lined up. Monday, we had Sam Sabava. I met over in the Orb side, Lynn's Chain side. She's been going crazy, killing it. Founder of Onboard 60. So she's one of the older fam in the building that has been really trying to utilize this emerging tech, AI, and blockchain to kind of educate her demographic, which has been really cool to hear her story and connect more with her. On Wednesday, we had Callie for episode 16. Yeah, that was amazing as well, too. She's a content creator going crazy in the live stream journey. She's had celebrated 11 months, on Twitch, but she's the founder behind the Creatorverse, and yeah, just been killing it, diving in and not getting started. She's heavily in the AI side, but getting started with like the blockchain side as well too, dabbling in that side of the emerging tech. And then yesterday had an amazing conversation with Wildy Martinez, a talented AI creator, been utilizing tools, Adobe Ambassador now. All kind of things. So yeah, that was a go-to conversation. I clipped that up, put a couple clips out on the timeline. As I was doing that, refreshing my memory with the conversation, I'm like, yeah, that was a solid one. So yeah, boss, I mean, we cooking. I like it. It's been a good time. How do you feel about the 3 Undivided? It might be a little much. It might have been cool. What do you think about how that
To me
structure?
it was good. Like I
Yeah.
liked number one. I like that I can like come in and be involved in them. But at the same time, it was cool to see. Yeah, and it's good to see that we are headed on this theme in March of finding women in the space. I think that's super great. Because as kind of been historically what we've been seeing in the space ever since that last the last kind of uh peak and pit that we had, we never really see a lot of people or a lot of projects, companies, whatever you may call it, uh, kind of come in and look at what's going on and tailor their content around it. And I mean, that's something that's regular for us, Black History Month, Women's History Month. We're always doing something for it. So, and I think it continues to speak to what our mission is while we're here. It's to uplift these voices, not only talk about emerging tech, but talk about the folks that are helping shape it. And the folks that we've had have been helping shape it very much.
Facts.
Very much.
Facts.
Even last week with Ritzy and this week with all three, it's really kind of continued to help platform and bring some attention to these people, which I don't think is a bad thing at all.
Facts. And I think, one of the things for me too is like I'm hyper aware of, the mindset of like we shouldn't need Women's History Month. We shouldn't need a Black History Month. And I've made designs that say Black History Month is every month. So I understand and I get it. I think, for me though, I think still it is important to kind of highlight during those months that are set aside, but also to not just drop the ball after the month's over. And then to be like, okay, cool. So I'm not gonna schedule any undivided attention for the ladies until next year again in March. Like that's crazy. But a lot of people and companies unfortunately have that mindset.
That's true.
And so yeah, so with that being said, we'll definitely have more of the ladies cycling in, and I got plenty of founders, creatives, content creators killing it, artists, musicians in the network. So yeah, it's a plethora of homies that we are going to tap in with well after March. Same with the Black and brown folks, the Black folks well after February, so the vibes. But yeah. But we are also coming off of, Saturdays, been rocking our longest running segment. Undivided Attention is our second longest running segment, but our longest, our joint, our baby is the Saturday joints. Been rocking those, since 2022 in February, and I've been having some amazing conversations. Last week was one of those top 10, top 5 for sure. Sitting down with Boss 2.0, Dina Combs, and my guy, his ears must have been burning.
Correct, goodness. For real.
I see. Dina Magic, I see through. We had a go-to conversation last week around all kind of things, emerging tech, AI, and then just carried in that momentum in the week with undivided attention guests, Tuesday and Thursday, and then did a couple little yapping with bees in between there. It was a good week. Let me bring my guy I see in a building. What's going on, family? How you doing? Good to see you. GMG, yeah. Not to Bobby emoji. You're a fool. What's going on, fam? Dina Magic.
Good morning. Sorry for the delay. Yeah. How's everybody doing?
You're all good. Hey, I was late too. I was late. You all good.
Well, I didn't want to say nothing, but that's why I was late.
Oh. My fault. It's good we here, we rock it. It's good to have you. What's the word? How you feeling this Saturday?
I'm good. I was up here tussling with this bot.
Which one? That's Dave.
Correct. Which one?
Mine.
So then that means the lobster.
Yeah, I don't tussle with the other ones.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because I was as well this morning. I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, on my computer that has a lobster on it, my lobster on it. Every time I wake up and I get on the computer or whatever, get ready to set it up, I see that there's a terminal open and there's a gateway open. And I'm like, okay, this is super dangerous, first of all. And I'm like, okay, there's been like a couple of days where I noticed it. And then I think, it depends on how early I wake up because, it will time out or whatever, go away. So I was like, nah, I gotta fix this. I have to fix this. Symbolic in a building. And so I go in and I boot up a fresh one. I shut that one down, boot up a fresh gateway, and I opened up the dashboard. I'm like, hey, why have I been waking up past couple of days and I see a gateway open? And it was like, oh, we have a scheduled cron, right? So the CRON, that's right. IC3, that's the right
Yes, that's correct.
code.
Yes.
Has the cron up and running and scheduled for this task that it would never complete. And the task was go into the notebook LM, or not the notebook LM, my notebook LM prompt, find the video, get the transcript, the thing that I've been doing manually. It's scheduled to do that. And it's been scheduling it. It's like, it said, it's scheduled to do it at 3 a.m. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. Whatever. But it's not doing it. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, no, delete that cron. We're gonna have to cycle back to that because that's crazy. So yeah, I was definitely tussling my lobster this morning too. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah, I mean
So
it's interesting because I'm watching Anthropic Frankenstein together their own version. Every other day they're dropping another piece,
yeah,
like like it's Legos, and like why don't y'all just sit down and put it all together and wait like a week and then just put it all out right instead of dropping it in pieces like this. But whatever, it's
yeah.
their thing. I say that to say that they've added a lot of the parts, and I know you went ahead and did the Claude Pro subscription, so you may want to just try asking Claude to do the same things you were asking, which is the point, obviously, that they
Right.
want to get us to, is just to switch over to using theirs. ChatGPT's getting ready to drop their version soon too. So they're all coming for this. I think ChatGPT's method has to be nuanced because they hired the guy and then they're like, they didn't buy it because it's open source, but they're like paying to protect it, so I guess they can't really try to compete with it at the same time. But Anthropic straight up is just trying to cobble it all together. So maybe just go ahead and play with that because it's going to be more structured, and you don't have to pay extra money to figure out how to power it. You're already going to be using Claude. So
All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, W experiment for the lobster and the open claw and the molt and all that good stuff, but yeah, it was a headache, My
yeah,
commodity still is time, so I can do a couple of tasks here and there until I get the automation in.
I want to say what's up to Symbolic. I'm going to set a reminder on my brand new iPhone 17 Pro
This guy.
to make sure that I'm attending the On Point talk show this coming Wednesday.
Me too. And Symbolic, it's at 7 my time, right? It's at 7 p.m. PST, right? Wednesdays, I believe. I hope. It was very good. And yeah, but it's the last one I got to catch, man. Y'all were cooking, And I got to do a little clipping. No, I love clipping, man. It's too funny. But no, shout out to Symbolic in the building, On Point Talk Show. And it's good to see y'all rocking, man. No stuff. So IC3, your phone made it out to you? How's that going? W delivery peoples.
It's funny because my nerd is like intrigued at some things I can do to play with it because my other phone was the 14 Pro, so I didn't have Apple Intelligence on my phone. I had it on my computer. I have it on my iPad Mini, but I didn't have it on my phone. And the reason why that matters is because the phone has its own connection, so it's always able to connect. And I'm interested in like doing some experimentation with Apple's shortcut system in combination with Apple Intelligence, having the onboard AI to see what I can kind of Frankenstein together and make happen. Inspired by seeing some other people do some really impressive things with Apple shortcuts, regardless of the Apple Intelligence. There's really some cool stuff you can do with shortcuts that most of us wouldn't even think of.
Yeah, for sure. I've been actually seeing a couple posts and things trickle in mostly on threads. I think most people been playing with some shortcuts and stuff, and yeah, I've been learning some stuff. I'm like, okay, I didn't know we could do all that. So yeah. But yeah, Apple Intelligence versus on the phone or on the device versus on a dedicated machine. That's a whole different ball game. Especially because we have so many, you're tapped in and tuned in with so many engines and models that you can use on the computer. It's interesting to see, I guess that I guess it's a limitation really, just to be that smaller form factor or whatever. Just not, yeah. But that is always on and connected. So yeah, I see through. You know the deal. Once you find out all that good guru stuff out there, toss it in the Discord for me.
Will do, will do. So what's been going on with you? What's going on this good Saturday morning?
Hey, we had a couple topics we were gonna get into, boss. We can go into the doodle side, or we can go into the other AI side, which is interesting because the NFT doodle side is AI news this week. uh,
I feel like we're
let's
kind
see.
of back at it. Like it's didn't really see like a whole lot. Well, I mean, it's always growing and moving, but I feel like now, ever since kind of Lobstergate, the AI talk has kind of returned. And then, like, there's some great stuff going on over on campus. We got the new doodle stuff, which we can go ahead and get into now if you like. I'm actually, oh wow, it just came through. I had not had a chance to like take a moment to jump into it, and so while we were chatting, I went ahead and created like got on the AI real quick and did something new.
Oh, yeah, share some
And I said,
screen.
"Oh, this is very interesting." Okay. And so no, let's go on and jump in it since it just created something. And I'm like, oh wow, okay.
And yeah, and I don't know anything about, like, I've seen you all mention it. I have no context beyond the few mentionings I've seen of you all. I haven't like seen it on my timeline. I probably saw something related to it, and that's what I muted. So that may be why I didn't see anything else. But yeah, I welcome the education.
Right. Nah, shout out to you. That's what's up. Doodles AI. Doodles from Burnt Toast, and we talked about this quite a bit. One of the guys, actually, I kind of want to go to X first. I want to go to X first. Let's see. Share this tab. There we go. Shout out to Way Wars over there with the interviews going in. I love it. Love to see it. Doodles, one of the goated NFT projects for sure, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion. From Burnt Toast, story illustrator. I've been tapped in with Burnt Toast for a while. We did a couple different deep dives on Burnt Toast, and that evolution into the NFT side, into the crypto Web3 and all that good stuff. But Burnt Toast is the creator, and he recently has been on this experiment to embrace AI. He's an illustrator, and not a lot of illustrators, not a lot of story designers really are embracing it like this. But he just trained his own model essentially, and I found a lot of the tech behind it. So we'll do a deep dive in that too, which is kind of cool. I've been seeing a couple profiles really trying to spotlight how this was done. But yeah, I mean, they were teasing this for quite a bit. The Doodles AI, and they were building in public, sharing the progress and all that good stuff. And at first it was like it was okay. There were some things that were needed to be tweaked. I think a couple, how long was that, about a month ago, boss, when we were talking about it, and we
Oh, it was
were
more than
kind of
that. It
diving
was
in.
probably like I think it was almost at like a little bit past the top of the year.
Oh sheesh, this time's flying by, this year's flying
I
by.
know
But they got it, launched it. I don't know if this is beta stage or what, but it's out for public use.
What is it?
It is a AI image to image generator that takes your image and outputs it in doodle style.
So so what people were doing like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
but people were doing within.
it's in this doodle style. I mean, I don't think you could have gone into Midjourney and put, in the style of doodles. And then also, I feel like this is something that's brand new as far as when it comes to a singular artist, I guess should say, work. Because I know when we were talking about it at the top of the year, B brought up a lot about the actual burnt toast aesthetic versus what this Doodles AI is making. And that's
Scroll back up.
kind of what's been interesting to me, because what I believe is I believe all this was made from burnt toast, putting all his, a lot of his artwork and things in, and making this image gen model to then where others can put this into it and make their own.
I fully agree. That's actually what my questioning was getting at. I'm snarky, but yeah, but no, I mean, I wasn't sure what the technological issue or project was. I didn't know anything about it, so my response was just, okay, so they didn't actually do something new. They just kind of trained a model. But I agree with you. You're right. You're totally right. Like, what's significant is not that. It's that the artist is on board with it and is behind it and pushing it. Although I'm not that surprised by that. Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Why not?
Because I think you will find that the artists that never came out like 100%, like torches lit, like destroy the robots, AI is evil, they're the ones that were always kind of saving it, saving room for this. Like, they understood. They also maybe didn't like what was happening, but they understood reality enough to know, like, this is moving in a certain direction. And they knew not to say too much crazy stuff. Those are the ones that I'm not going to be surprised that, like, start to move towards the money, because you have to. I mean, you can be principled, but I think that is in conflict with the same artists that would want to be on social media and have all these projects. Like, you obviously want success that comes with money, so you're going to move in that direction. So I like that they're doing it in a way that they control it on their terms. I don't know what the conversation is around the fact that they've decided to do this, how people feel about it. Are they taking flack? Are they respond to that? I'm curious about all of that side of it. The reason I asked you to pause there on scrolling is because I was curious how it handled the different skin tones. And I just thought it was interesting that they seem to be like reverse, like in the image, because I was like, wait a minute, the guy on the right is brown, but the character was light. And then when you went back up, I was like, okay, well, there's the brown guy, but he's on the other, like, okay. I was just curious about how it handled melanated people. It's clearly good at handling that art style, which I'm not surprised by. And that's not even like it has the style for melanated in there, because it did it. It's just interesting how you put it in the wrong person, whatever that means.
I've had those. Yes, I've done a couple generations, and I was having that same thought process, to where I had uploaded some images, and it was I'm not gonna lie, it came out a little lighter than I expected, and I was like, why? But so yes, but but going back with what you're saying, I mean, this is the whole Studio Ghibli trend all over again, but this time the artist kind of was on board, and I've been seeing a lot of that same kind of callback to that, and in response to what you were saying about like the community and how everybody else feels about this. I mean, the Doodles community, it seems to think it's the coolest thing in the world,
with Doodle's community, I'm not talking about them because if they think it's gonna make them money, they down for whatever the hell they're gonna do. I'm talking about like the artist community more so than
okay, that makes sense.
Than the Doodles community.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen a whole lot of folks even talking about this period. A lot of what I've seen are people who are already familiar with Doodles going ahead and image genning and using this for their own personal stuff, like we've been seeing right here. But again, I've just been catching up. I know we kind of hit the streets this past week, but everything that I've been seeing has been from people who are already familiar with Doodles. There are a lot of people familiar with Doodles, so I'm wondering if it is going to turn into, somewhat of this kind of that Studio Ghibli trend that we saw, or even the trend that we're seeing right now, where everybody is making their flyers with ChatGPT that has that certain look. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That I've been seeing lately. I don't know if this will, go much further past people in the space. But I don't think it'll be some, every mainstream person is jumping on Doodles AI, because I don't think a lot of people even know Doodles from the past stuff that they've done with their animation and music collaborations that hasn't really been really big outside of folks in the community or people within, Web3 emerging tech in the first place. So right now it's feeling kind of niche. I believe this is the, version 1.0. So it's going to be interesting to see how it continues to grow, if they continue to grow it in that way. Especially now that we see, Midjourneys on 8s and 9s and all this type of stuff, and they're continuing to do more. And then, we had our AI movie that just hit, AI series that just hit the streets this past week as well. So I was going to do one live. This is really kind of funny. I did see this one. If you know, you know. I know B put that up. If you know, you know what the background is. But I went in myself. What do I have it? Here it is. Let's see. I went in myself and B hasn't seen this. I was playing around on GPT and doing some thumbnail stuff just to kind of see what thumbnail stuff was doing for my YouTube. So I was like, you know what? Let me just play real quick. This was like one of my most recent things. So I put it over in Doodles AI, and it gave me this, which is cute. But I'm just like, it's so different.
Oh, the way I just laughed out loud. I'm so glad the microphone was muted.
It's so different. I was like, okay.
I mean, that's somebody's vibe.
No, true.
It's just not mine.
So different. And I don't know which different I'm going for.
So one thing.
Like, well, wait. How do you feel about yours, boss?
I to be honest with you, I'm very indifferent. When I look at it, I'm just like, okay. I don't.
Well, because you all are based on your actual photographs, so you all could feel away more than I could. Like,
oh no, it don't really matter to me. It is what it is. Like, I've seen myself in AI form in a lot of different ways. This is not the craziest that I've seen. So, just point blank. I don't know. It's just. I'm like, oh, that's different. B, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I did one of like myself that kind of came out cool. I posted it in the back channels in Discord, but I've been noticing, and I've been seeing a lot of, the home team folks posting their things. It does a lot with these like necklaces and jewelry instead of the collars of shirts. And also, IC3, you mentioned like the skin tones and things like that. I've been seeing a lot where it's like putting, that doodle style tattoo thing or whatever on the arms, and there's no tattoo in the reference. So it's got some work to do, and the text is, yeah,
So
the text is
is
texting.
it putting like chains on us like we gangsters? Like I don't know what is that what it's supposed to. I didn't really understand if those are like pearls or chains. Like I don't know what's happening. There's a lot going on in the doodles aesthetic. It's a bit heavy-handed to me.
So yeah,
they could.
it's
It's called
jewelry. It's
overfit
jewelry.
when you train a model on your style. If you kind
Yeah,
of go too hard, it's called overfitting, and that's where it like applies the style to
right.
everything too heavily. The other side of that is I don't know how many black characters there are in Doodle's lineup and what they look like, and if that's what it's using as the training data. Like I don't know how they train this.
But
So I don't
if
know.
I don't either, but imagining and guessing, they probably use a lot of what they already had, especially from that short film. And if you remember, it was in the music videos, it was Lil Yachty, it was Lil Wayne, it was rapper homies. So I mean,
No, you're 100% right because I didn't even remember they had a film, but I
yeah,
remember now. And
Mhm.
then Pharrell had something, and so they definitely would have used those stills, those frames
hmm
from that before, more so than using like the NFT collection because it would be full
right.
body and full environment, more than just the characters. So yeah, that explains a lot. But even still, even with that as the training data, they could tone it down a bit, but maybe that was the happy medium because maybe if they toned it down too much, they were starting to lose other things they wanted to keep about the person characters. So I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't know how they trained it. I agree with you. I would bet that they did use those video captures since they have them. Yeah, I don't. To Boss's point, I don't really think this means anything. If anything, this acts as a vehicle for the artist,
Mhm.
if done well, to get their own style out there. So it would be incumbent on the artist to leverage the people who are into them and their style to like get other people to be like, hey, what's that? Oh, let me make that. And understand that it's probably, gonna, if it has any virality, it's not gonna be long term. You got to use that to get work afterwards. Like if you would think they have enough, like you've done the animation for Pharrell, like if so I don't know, but I guess it's rough out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a early stage though. Get some feedback and tweak it. Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
slow. It is
Say it again?
slow. It's slow. I put 1991 in here like ages ago, and it's still not done. Like they gotta come on with it. I'm still waiting. Like, what's going on?
Well, let's see. Let's talk about this real quick because I found this, and this is the company, the engine behind it.
Mm.
This Comfy thing, and I'm new to Comfy, but I checked it out a little bit, and
Y'all don't want no parts of that.
okay, all right. The guru
well,
has
well, check
spoken.
it out. I mean, you can
I
take a
mean,
look at it, but it's very complicated to use. It's a graphical interface. There's node base. It's like a
yeah,
canvas, and that part's not complicated. I think if it was just like you connect this box to that box, and it was like 3-4 boxes, you could figure that out. Like, no, this thing is like opening up the IT closet at work and just wires everywhere. and you got to know how to connect this to that. It's super modular, and that allows for you to create very specific things and have a lot of control. But it is not for the daily driver or everyday user. It is for somebody who actually needs to do this. When you can just put your shit in Chat GPT or Nano Banana and get the same level of quality or better, there's no reason to use this for the average person. But I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's super granular.
It's exactly what I thought when I first opened it, and I was like, okay, cool, it's node based. And then I was like, yeah, I got other stuff to do, because I immediately was like, okay, this is cool, but this reminds me of, like, you know, Ja and everything he's doing with Helmet City. Like, he was deep in diving into these node based tech tools for the image and video gen. It's like, I mean,
well, this is what he would have
fire.
been using, if anything. This is the thing that's been around, providing this infrastructure in the background for a long time. A lot of people have struggled around trying to create a more user-friendly UI for Comfy. And there are options that exist that will kind of skin over top of some of that node stuff for you. And the improvements in AI models mean that they can train on Comfy, and you can just like chat and ask it to do things. So I'm not anti-Comfy. Most people are not going to want to go anywhere near it, is what I'm saying, just because of the level of complexity. That said, you can still use Comfy, but just maybe not directly, even if you aren't into using it that way. Like I said, you can use a chat agent like ChatGPT or Claude, and it will totally understand how to use Comfy. It's just, you know, a slower process maybe for somebody who knows how to click all the things and adjust all the knobs. They would look at you asking the chat thing as a barrier. Like, why wouldn't you just do it yourself? But it's just a matter of, do you want to have to learn how to use all of this stuff? Like, that's the screenshot's not there, but just like in the nodes themselves, like within one node, like you could have 7 different things to choose from in one node, and then you got the next node, and then you got the next within the next node. So even though you see like 4 or 5 boxes on the screen, you got choices within each box to make.
Yeah. I mean, I might play around with this when I got some time, but probably not, because I would get my lobster together before I do this.
I mean, like you said, time is commodity. If I got to choose what I'm going to spend it on, it's just not going to be Comfy, and it never has been for me. And I understand this stuff. I'm just not going to use my time for Comfy UI. But I'm not against it. Like, if you're bored and this is the kind of thing that's interesting to you, or you want to learn a new thing, this is a cool thing to learn. So I'm not discouraging people from it, but you'd have to really want to do this. I'll put it that way.
And so if somebody would want to do this, they would be trying to, what is I mean, at this point, aside from using some of those other LLMs like you mentioned, like, what would be the benefits of this? Like, you can get a super consistent style, or like hone that in and tweak that up, like the fine tuning. Okay.
You have complete manual control over every single part of this process from this workflow environment, every single part of it. So
does Comfy do video or image only?
It does everything. Because it's just nodes. So you're connecting it to this model, yes, but you could connect it to a different kind of model and route it through. It's just input output basically through the nodes, and you're connecting one node to the next. It's just like the IT closet. There's a bunch of wires all over the damn place. That's all it is.
Okay. For my music heads out there, this look like Reason versus FL Studio or Pro Tools or something like that, you know, with the wires. Some people do like that vibe. It's fun, but yeah, that's when I first opened it up, I was like, oh, okay. I knew exactly what it was, but I was like, okay, that makes sense. I could see Doodles getting their, you know, their workflow together through this. But
and see, what used to irritate me about stuff like this is the people who knew, like, for example, like those audio programs you just mentioned, there are people who open those and probably had the same reaction. And like, it's got to be something simpler. But it's like, okay, the people who have taken the time to learn how to use them, those are the people that are best situated right now to use these tools that AI, is giving us to actually maybe make the simpler way, because you know how to say, okay, make sure it connects to this. Like, I wouldn't even know the terminology. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who knows how to use the tool would be better positioned to make a simpler version that knows how to connect to the more complicated version on the back end and actually do all the harder stuff, but show the user an easier way.
Yeah.
And so like that's what the guy was doing in he used Claude Code to make the music tools. Like that's basically what he was doing. He knows all the terminology. He knew what to tell it to have as features.
All right, boss, I got this other screen. What you showing us? Let me pull that up. What we got?
Well, I mean, we were talking, like I said, we were kind of talking about being able to use, with this company AI having the opportunity to have control over every single part of it. And the second thing that, that I had brought up was this first AI streaming platform through Higgsfield. And I had heard of Higgsfield for a while now, but I was like, this name is not doing anything for us. But then they dropped this new series called Arena Zero, which is very much on the anime tournament kind of trope. And I watched the first series, and this is completely done with AI through Higgsfield AI. There are a couple like other shorts that are going on, but this is like their first kind of big thing that they have created. There's going to be like a series that drops like every week. And it's interesting, not in the doodles AI interesting, the good interesting, as far as what's being created. I think we were talking about this, I think, at the top of the year as well, and being like, yeah, no, we're not at this place for these movies. And then we now have like that first episode is about 10 minutes, so like a 10-minute series completely made through this engine that they are now asking other folks to come and create to potentially be on this new AI streaming platform. And so
interesting.
Yeah, it's moving fast. It's moving really fast. And none of us can predict when somebody figures out some improvement that makes a big leap really quickly, because that's just something that somebody discovered. So you can't predict that. And so any timeline that somebody gives you about how long it'll take is only based on what it's doing today.
Correct.
But if in 2 weeks somebody figures out some way to double the quality, then level of quality, then whatever you said 2 weeks ago doesn't matter anymore, because it's moving double speed now. So yeah, it's interesting to watch, because they're figuring out new methods that are improving the video quality really quickly. It's also improving the image quality, but that's kind of plateaued to the point where, like, the photorealism side of AI generation, that's not as impressive. People are used to that looking convincing at this point. The video has been the one where it's like, okay, well, you can make a couple of seconds clip, but now the quality level, and don't get me wrong, I think the quality level got there maybe about 6 months or so ago, but it was not at a level that the average person could afford. Like Sora at that full level was not being offered, to us. But now we're having these open source labs create versions that can meet that level of quality that people are able to run at home. So when the key to this stuff is iteration, right? None of these are actually spitting out any of these things as a whole body of work. There's not none of these spit out a 3-minute commercial or 30 whatever, right? Somebody is actually masterfully editing and piecing these things together And doing the audio, like that's actually real skill, because you could use that on real, video work. So that's really cool to watch people learn or teach themselves in real time how to do video editing. But aside from that, that's really what's happening here. Is the good thing about it is people are able to produce more iterations and have more samples to choose from to create the actual viable concept, viable end product, versus having to rely on whatever OpenAI is going to give you or whatever Runway is going to give you, and you run out of your credits, and then you keep, but not rich, you can't just pay for this stuff. So now that you can run it at home or run it cheap somewhere else, you're going to start seeing people who have more time to make more iterations so they can piece these stories together and actually make things that are longer and longer. And that's actually a good thing. I guess, it is. I do think of the other side of it, the people who, whose job it is to tell us these stories as humans, and what it means as they become unnecessary. That's a weird thing. I mean, there'll still be a world where we need actors and directors, but monetarily, studios and companies are not going to, like a commercial, like this kind of stuff. They're not going to spend the kind of money it takes for this. And like the young lady was saying, about the fashion shows on your undivided attention, you got to pay for the location, makeup, hair, the models, the photography, like all of the money that goes into a photo shoot. They're not going to keep spending that kind of money. They're just not.
And it's interesting when you talk about the editing. When I was watching it, you feel very much like immersed in it because it is so fast paced. Like it surprised me how fast paced it was. But then I was like, because I have seen the video clips, oftentimes how short they are, and I'm like, oh, well, it's got to be fast paced because we're not turning out a 4-minute scene. It's 30 seconds, minute, maybe 2. And it moves really quickly. And I think that's, I think that contributes to why right now there are shorts. I think I was looking at another one that was like a 2-minute short. This one, this first episode is 10 minutes. But they are like, it moves really quickly. There's a part of me that, that sees like, okay, if this hits the mainstream, that's right up people's attention span. Like that we may kind of really see it take off. But then when it comes to probably more artistic, like more artistic iterations, like you were talking about, like it's definitely going to be a lot of editing skill and editing magic to put together like a 5-6 minute scene with a monologue in it, where you have to have consistency all the way across, that it's not cutting every minute, every 45 seconds and things like that.
Yeah.
I think some of that, the slowness to get to the point where you see more of it for the TikTok culture, so to speak, the shorts culture. I think because there's something about it that even though as the quality improves, you're still having issues with consistency of the character, and it's much better. It's much better, but I don't think it's to the point where people could comfortably feel like they can do like a series about a person if this person's characteristics are going to keep changing, like, and people are going to pick up on that and have an issue with it. In my mind, I think it's an interesting experiment for animation where it's much more forgiving, and where you could maybe embrace a format where you told a similar type of story or use a similar style, but not the same characters every episode, quote unquote. Then you could really get away with a lot. I feel like if you were using animation and not trying to keep a consistent, locked in character, it could maybe be something that shape shifts, or changes its form already, like that thing from that cartoon where it was like the Fosters, and he had like the little imaginary friend, and it was it could, you know, like it can move around, change a bit, or Meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, you know, like a character like that is not meant to be static, but it could still have a similar aesthetic that is consistent across. You know what I mean? Like you could get away with a lot with animation, I feel like, with the current state of it, if you weren't locked into trying to chase that dragon of character consistency.
And let's, you know, speaking right along, W segue IC, speaking of, you know, iterations and things, we ready. Here we go, boss.
Let's go.
Get into it.
Say hello to 1991, number 1991. So if you don't know, this is my original 1991. My original Ohnahji, and then this is what came out of Doodles AI.
You got your gold chains on, gangster bling bling.
I know. I was like, huh?
So now that confirms it for me that it's putting chains on black people. Okay, I don't know why it's doing it, but it's doing it. And it may be you're right. It's because of the movies or the footage that you're talking about, when it was a bunch of rappers and they had chains on their characters. I think that would be easy to prove because you could just screenshot the footage and put them up next to. But one thing we can see is consistently putting them on the black characters. And I would like to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's, you know, it's just it thinks we like, you know, expensive jewelry.
And where did I get this little teardrop up under my iPhone?
Well, doesn't it have the diamonds in the NFT? Because I was going to say, look at Court the Diamond.
I've got my earring. Oh, no. You know what that probably is? That's probably my eye shine.
Oh, no. I was thinking of the gold rings, not the diamond. But I was thinking it had like some things flying around it. But it was,
got you. Yeah, no. That's probably from the eye shine. Is what I'm thinking.
That's
of.
Interesting.
Okay, I mean, okay.
No, it's just more bling because you black.
Hey. Very interesting. Again, very interesting.
If they had teeth, they would have fronts and grills. This is a mockery.
Now, I'm trying to deep dive. Like I need to go through my expensive collection and like go in and see. Like, you know, I feel like this would be a very interesting little deep dive to do, considering how many of our NFTs are black and brown and the traits that they already have. Ooh.
Or you mean just keep feeding it Ohnahjis and see how many?
Yeah, and see how many end up with this like Wonkadoo chain.
All of them.
See, like for the ones with our open mouth trait, like if you give us some fronts.
I saw open mouths, but I didn't see teeth on any of these. So I felt like maybe they don't use teeth in doodles.
I think the way I'm understanding it and seeing some of the generations, the teeth are kind of coming. The teeth and noses are reserved for animals. So the character, the static human characters are toothless and noseless or whatever. But if you see a nose or teeth, it's usually together with an animal or a creature or something. So.
I mean, I wouldn't think about it too hard. It usually is what it is. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily intentional. Some of this stuff is the way these models work because it's picking up on biases of, you know, society. And if it only had a limited amount of examples, and if they literally only used those videos and they did not use the NFTs at all, then it had even fewer examples of us. Mm-hmm. And if it only had those rappers, it literally thinks every black person's a rapper. And it's not because the art is meant for that. they probably didn't even think about it that way. But if that's all it had as an example, and that's what it says, okay, black person equals this, then it's going to do that.
I'm trying to.
But again, we don't know how they trained it.
I mean, there were several melanated characters in the Doodleverse movie, like in The Office and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple now
that didn't have all the chains and stuff. But I mean, hey, that's their problem to solve. Yeah, it might be.
So the interesting experiment would be the skin tones, and like them individually, like a lighter complected one, does it not have the chains versus the darker ones?
So that's one that, you know. But the source image for this one didn't have like longer. Yeah, okay.
It's not a OhnahjiU, right?
Oh, you mean like the input? No. So the only one that I have is the only one that I've done so far is the purple hair Discord one from that's in the background. Yeah, you know, the homie. Wait, am I pointing the wrong way? I don't know. But yeah. So let me see if I can find that one. And I'll post that up real quick. But that one didn't have chains. But I've done a couple iterations where I was like, where are these chains coming from? Or no, the chains were in there. You know, I like that kind of vibe. But
because that's a different question to me. Like, how does it treat a photograph of an actual person versus an illustrated picture like an OhnahjiU? Like, because it's going to perceive those things differently. So it might see us giving it, you know, these dark brown animated characters and try to match it with its own animated like maybe that's why it's doing it. Like, it's so many different ways it could go. And that's why it's interesting that people's first reaction to this kind of stuff is often like, oh, racism, but it's not that simple. I mean, ultimately, yeah, it all boils down to that at some level. You know, that's how the world works. But it's not backing anyone's intentions or necessarily actions here. They may feel like, oh, I just gave it the videos because it was some everybody in there, so it should have something of everything, and think that's good to go. But these things can be very specific, and once it determines that this equals something, it's usually going to stick to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they put a lot of science into it, so I wouldn't try to put too much science into figuring it out.
And well, yeah, it's probably they just took the screens that they had and all these rapper partnerships and tossed it all in there. You know,
it's always something weird when it's us. That's all. So it's just another occurrence.
We got this. Let me see. Share this tab. We got like this little spawn, you know. So I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of cool.
Right. There's some other cool ones I've seen. Let me
it
see.
Looks like a crypto Mori.
It did, huh?
A touch. I can see that.
Just the shape of the skull.
The fact that it has the skull like that. But I get why it did it. It's just trying to interpret the Spawn picture. Like, it doesn't know who Spawn is. Look, it put a Batman symbol on the chest. Like, it doesn't know what it's doing. It's just doing whatever.
I didn't even see that. And his utility belt too, right? Or is Spawn's belt yellow? No, I don't think so. Or is it? But yeah, that looked like a Batman belt. I mean, they're trying. It's the beta. It's the beta. Give them some, give them some grace. I'm just kidding.
Think about MJ. MJ 1.0. Wow.
But I am curious what model they're using. Like, is this Flux or like what open source model are they using? I'm also mainly just curious, is anybody even using Stable Diffusion anything? and if there's a reason to even think about them anymore, because they were like the big dog competing with Midjourney basically by themselves, and Dolly was just kind of off to the side somewhere.
What was that shift? Nano Banana?
Stable Diffusion died before Nano Banana. Open source labs started coming out with models. Flux basically kind of made Stable Diffusion irrelevant because it was smaller, it could run faster. They were coming out with models quicker. Stable Diffusion started having issues with their leadership and their structure at the company. Still do, probably, because what are they doing? Nobody hears from them, so that's indicative of a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's sad because they were the ones that pioneered the open source side of all of this. For all of this, like, this is why Comfy UI and all these other people, like these companies, could exist, was because Stable Diffusion came along and like pushed all these open source things out in a standardized format that was at like a high quality level. Before that, it was real hodgepodge and mostly like just stuff coming out of weird university labs, and some weird programmers that just were obsessed with this stuff would pop something out every so often, and everybody would just use that until the next thing.
Yeah. Oh, how cute.
But there's no reason anybody can't really do the same thing. Like, if you wanted to do this, if you're an artist out there and you want your style to be more popular, you could do this too. And my advice would actually be not to make it too good. You don't want to make it so good that it replaces you. You still want to be the person they call when they want quote unquote serious work done, for the big money. So I would say you don't want to make it too good. Make it do weird, janky shit just like this.
And I was having those same thoughts too, you know, along those lines. And when I first saw this, I was like, yeah, I mean, this is what a bunch of the homies over on Farcast were trying to do with Emerge, and still are. And yeah, so I've tried some different things like that, but I don't know. I might play with Comfy a little bit. I don't know.
So don't keep getting caught up by shiny new things syndrome. You're going to see 50 million things in front of you the more you do all this vibe coding and all this stuff. You can't stop for everything. My advice would be to assess what it does, and do you actually need to do it, and for what? And I only say that's because you already know how to do image generation and how to use those kinds of tools. Yeah. Unless there's something specific that you're trying to do where you need to have that kind of control. I mean, I'm not, again, if you want to play with it, go for it. I feel like you're going to play with it for 5 minutes and move on about your business.
You're probably right. You are probably right.
But I'm trying to save you maybe the 5 minutes at the same time, because there's really no point. There's no reason to play with Comfy unless you want to like learn how to control every single aspect of the generation.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for you to have to do that at this day and age. That's like wanting to know how to make your clothes instead of just buying them. Like, it's not required. Just buy your clothes. Like,
he said, leave it to the pros already doing this stuff. It's this, you know.
I mean, unless you want to be one. And I don't even think the people who probably make the most money would sit around tinkering with Comfy. They would just use an agent.
So tell me more about that. Like, because I feel like he's saying we're beyond that node, that Comfy node right there situation. Like, what would you use instead? When it, like, are you talking Claude? Like, I mean
yeah, like an agent that just give it the docs for whatever it is, so that it understands how it works, and then it becomes the subject matter expert for whatever that tool is. The advancement with the agent is that it's able to take action outside of the conversation interface. So that's why I'm saying agent instead of like LLM specifically. So an agent that would have some sort of tooling that allows it to connect to Comfy can then control Comfy for you. So there's no reason for you to figure out how to control all the parts of Comfy, where you can just say, hey, this is what I want. There's no, like, you don't win any brownie points in an environment where people are being rewarded for cutting those corners. Like, the people who are showing that they can cut that corner the best are the ones getting rewarded the most.
Interesting.
And it is something to think about, because there still has to be people who do know that level of detail, because there has to be something for the agent to control until we get to the point where the agents can really just make their own stuff off the fly for everything. We're not there yet. They're not smart enough to make every single level of software out there in the conversational context, like right while you're talking to them, you know. Yeah. So there's the trade-off for saying, okay, yes, it could build me something like Comfy UI, but that may take a couple of days of going back and forth, versus let me show it the docs and they can just use it for me in 2 minutes.
Gotcha. Always wisdom. Yeah, for sure. Symbolic. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Well, let's see what we got. So I threw the little Malcolm meme in there. And then I threw one of my, I was going on my run with my little Gundam pilots or whatever. That was one of my favorite ones. It missed the mark on that.
Those things are amazing.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Good mid-journey time. But yeah, they lighten her up a whole lot, like a whole lot. So yeah. And then this is another one that I made. It had all these chains going all through it and the melted chains and stuff. So, but I'll have to see. I don't know if it had chains on the homies. And she did not have tats. So I don't know.
They're gangster.
It's probably you know what? Now that I'm seeing like the tats too, and like that prevalent with the chains and stuff, it's probably all just those rapper images they had, those partnerships. They just probably just all that into the train data, you know. It's all good.
Well, it was it said it was trained solely on Doodle's own IP, original illustrations, character designs, color palettes, and the visual rules the company has developed over 5 years.
Yeah.
So probably in the span of all that stuff, the outliers, especially over these 5 years, the outliers and have been probably some of those images from the animation and from the series and stuff like that. So if there was a lack of that before in the visual rules, and then you have these outliers, they're going to say, okay, every time we see this darker skin tone, this darker skin color, we're going to attribute some of that to it. That's probably where it came from. Because I went and pulled up a quick moment to see how it was built, and it's proprietary, of course. So it's built. The model is called Prism 1.0. It was built and powered by systems which reinterprets uploaded images within the creative language of the Doodles universe. Of course, they're being like Apple, and they're calling it, what was it? I missed it. I saw it. I read it just a moment ago. Artistic intelligence. AI shaped by a specific creative vision, trained only on that vision, output and designed to expand creative expression rather than extract from it. So, I mean,
it's interesting your perspective, because I know why you say outlier. But think about it like this, boss. If they gave it a video, the video is frames. So in even like a 30-second clip, there could be hundreds of frames of that one character, just as they move around that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, in theory, they might be outliers, but if they actually fed them videos and they broke down the frames, they would outnumber everybody else that was of any sort of shade of brown, because their videos and because of the number of frames that they would represent in the training data compared amongst the NFTs. And then you factor in the people that we would look at that are lighter brown complected and think of as black because of how they're drawn or something about culturally, but as an AI, they might get lumped in with another group.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not be counting them as black. You know what I'm saying? Versus, yeah, it's a lot to think about, but just that the video aspect of it and thinking of them as outliers, I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, well, wait, if it's video, it could be literally, thousands of frames of these rappers, and that really might be like overwhelming it. Yeah.
Mm.
Let me see. I got it. I got those pictures loaded. Let me see. Cool. So okay. So yeah, this was my Discord one with the purple hair. It lightened up the whole thing, and I don't know what I don't know, like a little shadow beard thing. I don't know. It's all good.
Neck tats. Come on, gangster.
You might be.
That? I'm looking like
you might be right. You might be right.
Y'all ain't about that life.
Ah,
and then
that one was behind you, and that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what's going on with the.
She has teeth.
But
you got teeth in the nose, so
that's one of the Afro chicks, right?
Yeah. So it's not interpreting those lips like that well at all. So yeah, that was interesting.
Do they have lips on these characters? But they don't have noses a lot. Teeth.
No,
do they often even have? It's like, isn't it just like a slit?
So how would that affect the image to image? Because you're saying like it has. Are you saying it probably has a different flow or whatever for when it's clearly like a photograph of a real human or whatever versus like an artwork or illustration or something like that? Like, is that what you would do? I see.
Well, the AI would respond differently.
Okay.
It first it has a recognition process, so it first has to look at it, understand that it is a person is just a person. It looks at that and says that's a person.
Gotcha.
It might say photo of a person or try to understand the environment, what's going on with the person. When it sees an illustration or an artwork, it first has to figure out, what is this? Okay, and because it might think it's a person at first, but it quickly will realize it's not a person. But then it has to figure out, well, what is this? And then it has to start breaking down the other elements of what kind of artwork is this? Is this a painting? And then it might decide, okay, well, this is just an artwork, a picture of a person, so let me treat it like a person. But it's done substantially more work to get there than it did if it just saw a person. So it doesn't arrive at the same place the same way, but it still gets there. How it decides when to make a nose or not make a nose, I think it's totally dependent. If none of those characters ever have a nose in the official training data, then that's just it, hallucinating and going rogue when it feels like it, because it can do that.
There's that. So I guess skin tone was kind of similar, or just lightened up everything else, like the hoodie and the background and the hair. Yeah, I mean, I guess he got a little, little chin on him, but yeah, I don't know if
those are neck
where it came from.
That's not hair. Like, look at how it does hair at the mustache. Those are tattoos.
You're right.
But it may think that those are neck tats on the original. Like, who knows? Because it's not a person. So
true. Okay.
That's not like it doesn't necessarily look at that and see hair. It has to figure out what is that in a different way than it does if it's a person.
That makes sense. And then my other little piece, you know what I'm saying, is So, yeah,
Very
interesting.
what it did with that kanji. Very interesting to see what it did with that kanji.
The eye placement is interesting, but at least it gives them both eyes, regardless of where it puts them.
Oh, the eye placement that's doodle
video,
style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's doodle style.
Oh, it is for the eyes to just be wherever the hell they end up.
Mm-hmm.
For the eyes
Or
to
you
be
mean that
wherever
second eye, or are you saying the alignment is off, like in this, or are you saying like it's off the head?
Are both of her eyes on her face? That's my
No,
question to you.
That's doodle style. That's doodle style.
Okay.
Man,
that's a choice.
That's his choice. What you mean? You
that's a choice.
Yeah. He should have stopped 10 years ago. What is this eye placement thing?
I just said that's a choice.
Yeah, it's his choice, and
she got perfectly substantial face that can fit both eyes, but he's chosen not to put them both there. It is a choice.
You know what, now I gotta go see. Now I gotta go all the way, scroll back all the way to his earliest work to see if there was a reason that he did that. Because I feel like no, there's probably not.
I'm just unfamiliar, so it's like I'm learning this as I'm talking to you. So that's all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I've seen doodles, of course, but I couldn't afford one, so I didn't look at them that closely.
No, I'm talking about burnt toast before doodles. Well before doodles.
He didn't exist to me before doodles.
No, he did.
To me, I said.
Okay, well, all right. I like that. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
It's all good. I believe you. You ain't got to show me proof.
Okay.
I just didn't understand why the eyes were like that. But that it's interesting that it's consistent enough to do that with each character.
Yeah, that'd probably be one of the things that they had to heavily
iterate
and train on, and
that took prompting and visual enforcement. Because I'm sure the AI probably wanted to fix that just by default. Or just gave them one eye.
It's interesting. Fire. Well, family, hey, we cooked. It's almost 11:30. You know what I'm saying? No. W stream. W combo.
I sure hope Doodles enjoys all this free press that y'all have given them.
Who is y'all? I mean, because y'all could be this call, or you mean like the general public on both timeline only.
We actually didn't say go use it. We just put our stuff in and went into a deep dive about where some of the output comes from. So we didn't tell people to go use it. We just said it came out.
No, I didn't mean like y'all personally. I just mean like the people who are like into this and using it.
Yeah. But like I said, I haven't really seen a whole lot of folks outside of, I guess I should say outside of the space, really using it or talking a whole lot about it. And it's interesting over in this article that I pulled up, how they said Doodles was an entertainment company. It didn't talk anything about anything that came before that. We are not.
Why would it?
I'm just because that's a large part of it.
To who?
That's
a matter of perspective
itself, like to the life.
They might want to forget that. Doodles might want to forget all that ever happened and go about their life.
Apparently they do. When they said we are not an NFT project, we are an entertainment company.
Yeah, that's what I say. They pretty much said it. So that's on par for how they trying to operate. I get why the people who bought the NFT would feel some kind of way, but Doodles pretty much said,
and they've been living up to it ever since.
Well, I guess now they're an AI company.
They might as well just come out and say we're a tech entertainment. I don't know.
They're calling it next generation.
It's called survival. They're gonna do whatever they can. All of them, all these companies. There's gonna be a whole bunch of people doing AI stuff that you didn't think was gonna do AI stuff in the rest of this year.
Oh yeah.
If they want to survive.
So it's been a big AI week. I think that's what we've been coming down from.
Isn't every week?
It's been that way for a minute.
For a moment, there was a pullback, and I feel like we're launching forward now because there's been much more of it that we've seen, like, I guess, quote unquote, being shipped out and hitting the timeline. Because there was a moment where I guess these people were getting ready for the rollout, and they all just decided, hey, let's wait until the first week of spring and drop it on.
So because
of course, y'all who have been building in the background, it's always going to be AI week. But for most who aren't, knee deep in lobsters and stuff like that, they have haven't really been hearing a whole lot about it.
God bless them, because I can't imagine what they are paying attention to. There's a lot of bad things going on, but I hope their lives are going well and they're not tuned into the news. B, I've seen you asking people the question in your rapid fires, blockchain or AI.
Mm-hmm.
As you've been using AI more frequently and in the more intense way, what do you see as potential ways to use them together instead of them being positioned as opposites or opposing choices? How do you see a way to bridge them or benefit from using one or the other now that you've used both?
I think, well, currently I've been utilizing just a lot of the AI tooling to build products that incorporate blockchain. Like, I've been trying to build things that integrate on-chain data. And I guess saying that out loud and hearing you say that, I think AI might just end up being the tech tool layer in the future, and for multiple things, for creating anything really. And I think blockchain will be the future data storage layer, which both of them work together. You create whatever, apps, videos, whatever, anything, create anything, software, and use blockchain to store it and have that digital ledger. I might have to do some more experiments. W question. W question. So yeah, both are tools. I think one is going to be the building side and one's the storage side. Simple as that.
But do they work well together? Because from recent conversations, I feel like a lot of people do not think that they work well together.
I would question how well versed those people are in using either or both of the things for them to come to that conclusion. I asked that for a reason because of the way you frame it.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it interesting that it's a choice that you ask people to make, because I kind of feel like it's all just software, right? Like, so it's not, they're not opposing, it's all just code. So that's like asking, Python or blockchain,
it's like asking what? Say it again. Sorry.
Python or blockchain. Like, it's a weird choice to make in my mind, but I get why other people, because for other people it's something that competes for their attention. So it's not, they're not thinking about it in terms of does it really like contrast each other technologically. A lot of people don't understand how either of the technologies work to know how to answer that, but they do know that it might be competing for their attention because of how influencers operate. I think that's detracts from people actually taking the time to learn about one or the other enough to know the difference. But I get why it's that way. But that's why I phrased the question that way because I don't see them as an opposing choice. I think to me it's more of a situation of like, if you feel like blockchain was where you were putting all your eggs in that basket, but now AI is the popular kid, well, you need to figure out how to sit at that table, you know, like, you know, figure it out, like start dressing like them, like figure it out. But it's not an opposition thing. You're not going to beat them. You can only thing you can do is join them.
No, yeah, I think, you know, one of the reasons why I kind of frame it like that is to see what people think. I think for all of them, it's kind of like the questions are either or. You know, some people approach it as an either or. Oh, they're like neither or both. You know, like we have. Hey, good to see Nacho going in. I think with the staple, with the grits staple. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, they might feel like they got to come and say, well, shout out to Willie. She was like, you know, I'm familiar with both type vibes. Or some people are like, I don't eat that. Like I'm good. I think it's the same thing. I feel like comparing blockchain and AI is like comparing a bank to a supercomputer. At this point, if y'all think big AI is gonna decentralize data, y'all crazy, yeah, for sure. But I mean, but both of those are a tool. So it's going to take. I know you guys will disagree, but blockchain is limited in its scope and use compared to AI. Like we haven't even scratched the tippy top of the AI iceberg. You're not solving cancer with blockchain, but are we not yet? I mean,
that hits at something though, B. So
go ahead.
So receive that though, because I watched these things, right, and I watched the whole interview, and I heard you ask that question. And I'm not calling any of your guests out, so I'm not going to say any names, but pretty much all of them. So I don't have to say no names. But
I said AI now. Yeah, you're right.
But no, they've talked to you for an hour about AI, but then they'll say blockchain. And I've noticed that more than once, right? And I'm like, well, they haven't even said anything really about blockchain other than they used to do it or.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting, and I wonder, do they say it because they think they have to because they're talking to you about it, and they think that you are pro blockchain, and they can't they don't want to say AI because they think you want them. It's just interesting because I don't really know how to process it because I'll listen to the conversation and there'll be almost nothing said about blockchain, but then when you ask that question, they'll be like, blockchain. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
interesting choice.
It could be a million things, you know. Shout out to the homies that do feel like I'm the blockchain champion. I'll wear that. That's cool. We're gonna keep running it. But also, like, no, I mean, my mom's came up and she was like, no AI right now. But I think AI just has the attention, like you said, like AI has the attention. I think most people don't understand why AI has all the attention right now. It is likely an experience bias. But I do. But my pushback is this though. I talk about AI quite a bit, and I use a lot of AI. Like, and you know, on screen, I'm like showing prompts and stuff with yapping with B. Like I yap about AI quite a bit. So I mean,
oh no, you do. I agree.
Right.
Like, my perspective would be completely different though. But I think it just depends. Like if these people, if how they're introduced to you is through something blockchain related. Even though you're talking about AI stuff, that may be how they perceive you. So I was just, you know, just funny thing I noticed that like you'll be having a conversation about AI mostly, and then you ask them that and they say blockchain. And nothing wrong with it. Maybe that's how they feel. It's just interesting to me. I would love to hear why they make that choice, given the contradiction, if they're not really doing anything with blockchain. To Nacho's point, and to some of my criticism / joking about blockchain stuff, I don't disagree that the use case is much more limited, but I think there's no reason to frame it as a comparison to AI. Like we're so encouraged to compare people and things, and everybody is this versus that. Just blockchain by itself, regardless of whatever AI is doing, is just a limited scope of usefulness. And I've always kind of said this, there's no mass adoption use case for transaction processing. Nobody cares about that. So the whole conversation that we were having for the longest time about onboarding and all this other stuff, that was the part that I settled on, saying this is the pyramid scheme part. This is the Amway part, where there's this ladder of success that we are all supposed to be climbing together and teaching each other how to climb it. We'll all get there. Like that was the BS part of it to me, because there was no world where all of us become rich together because some technology exists. There's a lot missing there. So that's kind of where I ducked out of it and said, okay, to me, this is a fintech play. And if you're interested in developing fintech, marketing fintech, whatever, but fintech, that's your play. It's not social media. It's like where the people are having meetings and money is actually being exchanged for contracts and all that. It's business, right? The other side of that is, you can make the long-term play of the cultural adaptation to a change of money, but that's more like politics, and that's still kind of marketing, because you're just trying to play on, you want to do legislative work and lobbying, and there's money involved, but all the rest of it to me just seemed like everybody's just grasping at whatever the leftovers are to see if they can catch whatever's falling off the table. And I just didn't feel like funneling people into that was helpful. So I don't have an issue with blockchain, but those are my thoughts of how blockchain works, what it is, how you make money in it. And so that's kind of why I pulled back from like really following it the way I used to, because the reasons I was following it were motivated by some thought process that I'm going to get some money here. Okay, well, that ain't happening. So, it's not that AI stole my attention. It's just that that's something I can actually use today for so many different things, whether it was making a song or a picture, or trying to figure out how to make it write a book for me, or to make code, or, whatever, so many different things. But I don't have those options when it comes to blockchain as a way to use it, to actually use it in my life.
Interesting.
But I think for me, that's why people don't say AI. It's because we see so much that can be done with it already. And I understand where that would probably make people more adept to say AI. But when you think about blockchain and the larger scope of what it can be used for, it might not be as versatile as AI, but in my personal opinion, I feel like it would probably be a bit more secure in its use cases, which means it could potentially affect our lives greater than AI. And especially right now when we see so much, and I hate to use the word, but when we see so much AI slop, as people like to call it, it's quick to dismiss AI as a trend rather than something that will last. Now we understand that it will, but when you zoom away from it, or when you zoom out from it, the uses that we have speculated that can be used for blockchain seem less trendy, more secure, more when it's understood and used in the right way, it could change our lives faster than AI developed series, some pictures, taking your photo and making it the same style as your favorite artist. Do you get where kind of I'm going from with that?
I don't disagree, but I would say that that's not that's not giving credence to all the other things that AI is actually doing as far as like technological advancements in medicine and coding and all types of areas of science, like how it's being used for those things, and the physical and practical applications that will come from that. You can't ignore that just because there's
I don't feel like a
also
lot of people see. I don't feel like
well, I'm not necessarily talking about the things that people see. I'm just just in general of the technology. But again, like this is my thing. Like I feel like this is the trap though, because it's not a comparison. Like I don't even want to frame it that way. So like the things I said about blockchain were not as a contrast to AI. They're not like this is about blockchain because AI is this. The only comparison that I could make in terms of like my interest was that I can actually use AI for those fun things. But in terms of a technology as a general, application towards society itself, I don't really compare them in that way. Then they're not in competition with each other. They both just exist independently as types of software. I think both things can be true about both of them. In terms of the fact that they'll both become underlying parts of the infrastructure that no one sees or even talks about. So none of this stuff will matter in 10 years because it'll just be the way that things are and it won't be a conversation. So, and like that's, to me, that's the part that like I really wish that people process about it. And it's like, okay, this whole rat race between now and then, like, okay, who makes money? And if we have history to look at, who makes money when things become infrastructure? The people who own the utilities of infrastructure, right? Not the people who were talking about it. So that's why it's like I'm saying I've retreated from blockchain, not because AI is better or any comparison with AI. It's just because I see it as becoming part of infrastructure, public utility. It is not the kind of thing that, like, there's no vehicle unless you're scamming right now. Where's the vehicle to make money? It's an investment vehicle. Like, and if you wanted to teach people how to invest in it like stocks, that would be one thing, but that's not what most people's approach is, So that's where it's like, okay, that's where I lose the interest in it, is because I don't understand what it is people are trying to attract folks into it to do. To do what exactly? To invest in meme coins? I
mean,
like, if you're not an artist, because that was the old play, was like, well, you're an artist, you can sell your art here as NFTs and you can bypass the middleman and skip the galleries. Like that was the whole, play there, right? Okay, well, if we're not doing that, who's not doing that? Like, well, I'm just saying the market speaks. I'm not saying nobody's doing it, but the collective we are not doing that. So
the collective we of humans was never doing that. It was a very niche
whatever. You know what I'm saying. If that's not where the attention is and where the money is right now, then what is the onboarding process into the space meant to look like? What is the space they're being onboarded into, and to do what exactly? And so again, to me, those questions don't have anything to do with AI. Like, those are questions that, like, I have in my head regardless of AI. And those are the things that put up like a wall between me and quote unquote Web3, is because I feel like we've lost the plot, and the plot was just kind of a vehicle to get us all into the space. But now that doesn't apply anymore. And again, if the vehicle was to do investment, I would totally understand. My brain would map it all one to one. Like, this is just like stocks. This is how you can make money if you buy the lows, sell the highs, yada yada. This is how you do the speculation. This is how you can check the charts. All of that kind of stuff would be prime education. But just to come in here and throw your money away, okay.
What percentage of people are coming in throwing their money away?
A lot of these people trying to chase meme coins are.
what percentage of the Ohnahji fam is in here coming throwing their money away?
Well, it's more people involved than just the Ohnahji fam. I think most of the
I don't
Ohnahji
know.
fam are probably not buying meme coins.
That's
But
the
I also
point.
feel like that's not the mainstream thought about it. That's not the niche of people that are even transacting or interacting with AI in that deeper way that you mentioned are probably even smaller. And so, like, when the part that I'm talking about is zooming out away from people who have the understanding of it, like a lot of us do. You know, most people probably don't know what blockchain is. They see AI as what we see online, like the AI slot type of stuff. We're not seeing it being pushed forward in advancements in technology and science. We see it in advancement of Gag City. We see it in advancement of shorts of people doing all kind of crazy stuff that's not truly possible.
I love the little baby that they make of this, like the little baby Martin. I love that's what AI is for. So
that stuff is kind of funny when we see like the grandmas catching people out, and it's like, but I'm like, grandmas don't even move like that. Like they don't have laxity in their joints like that. So you know, like I don't. And then Nacho says so many people got fleeced by crypto. Let's not pretend like that's the fluke. But I also think that came from a lot of ignorance about what it was. And I think that we're at that point right now in AI. So if you take that to someone random on the street and you even introduce them or say, what do you know about either one? I don't think they're gonna say AI, even though they may know more of it. They have probably more of a negative connotation of it than they would for blockchain. And most folks on the street probably don't even know what blockchain is.
Well, I think you're right about we're at that point with AI. We totally are. I think it's because the grifters moved from blockchain to AI, and now this is Scam City, whereas that was Scam City a couple years ago. And it's just more money to be made, and it's easier to make the money. It's legal. Like it's like it's too much going on the AI side for them to put their energy into blockchain. I'm sure they still use AI to do blockchain scams because you can run up a quick bag with that easy with meme coins. And it's all kinds of wallet drains. You know, you can do all kind of stuff, right? If that's what you're trying to do. I just think for the people who were like us, who were like genuinely trying to get into something, like thought this was a thing to get into, it, you know, it feels like we got rug pulled in a way, but I think the rug was never really there. and that's how and I think you're right. It's the same movement of scam energy is now over to AI, and it's even bigger and more pervasive over there.
Because the access is easier.
Yeah. Well, you have tools that help you scam. Like you had to actually know how to do something with blockchain scams.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to deep dive on this combo. But yeah.
And I do feel like we kind of go not necessarily back and forth with it, but now it's kind of become more of a blockchain crypto versus AI. And we've had this conversation. We actually had it earlier in the week. And I was telling Nacho the conversation that we had kind of around it. It's going up over on YouTube today. So y'all keep your eyes and ears open for that. I think it's like a 20-30 minute combo.
Let's go.
We really kind of got into was crypto really more of an investment vehicle? Can it, could it be potentially used for real life transactions and stuff like that? So we kind of got deep into the weeds about it. The conversation between myself, and Nacho. So I think it's something interesting that kind of would add to enhance the conversation that we just had, and maybe there is a little bit more there when we talk about blockchain, quote unquote, I should say, blockchain versus AI, and then how that branches off into crypto, how that branches off into how people understand AI versus any other thing in technology, software otherwise.
There is no versus. Free yourselves from that colonizing.
I know, and that's why I say quote unquote, because I feel like we understand this, but most people don't.
No, I'm talking to the public that's listening to this. There is no versus. That is a colonizing mindset. There's no scarcity between the two of them. They don't exist in the same space. They occupy their own spaces individually as pieces of software. You can use them both, neither, together, separate, whatever you want. That's the world we live in. It's just software.
Okay, fine. But we will scratch that from the lightning round. Sheesh.
No, I don't. Like that's got to be shown that, definitely.
I don't think you should scratch it. I think you should ask why, like, to qualify the answer. If they're going to make the choice, I would be interested in why they're making the choice. That's all.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Good stuff.
Hey, W Stream, W Convo. Y'all are goated as usual on this OhnahjiU Saturday. This is another one, man. I can't wait to clip up with my AI tools.
Period.
Not your blockchain tools. Oh, oops.
No, I was storing all my blockchain tools. Yes, because if something happened, yeah, I'm gonna be mad if I didn't dabble in blockchain the way I should, and something happened with these centralized platforms. You know what? No, knock on wood. Never mind. Yep, blockchain full effect. Because never mind. But yeah. Goated OhnahjiU Saturday. Shout out to you, Nacho in a building, Symbolic in a building, coming through. You guys are amazing, man. Appreciate y'all coming through and providing all that amazing convo. We're gonna get to it, and we'll look back at this 5-10 years and be like, yeah, none of that conversation mattered. But we building on the back end alongside of it, so it's all good. Special shout out to my co-hosts in the building. I see through Dina Magic. Yes, I love it. Got the cauldron here today. Stirring the. No, I'm just playing. Shout out to the Dina Magic. Dina Combs, Boss 2.0 in the building. That's what's up. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys next Saturday for sure. We'll have you. All we have is now. Oh, I'm weak. See you guys tomorrow for another Yapping with B, probably around 10 a.m. PST, I believe. And we're gonna keep this going. Another Go-To week is coming up, and we're gonna be in there. Might seem like I only criticize crypto, but I 100% believe there's an AI bubble, and when that pops, it's gonna make Bitcoin feel like chump change. Yeah, they're gonna go back and forth. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow doesn't exist until we create it. I like that. We can end on that. OhnahjiU Saturday, family, March 21st. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all be good. Peace.